Welcome back, Boops here. Today we are talking about Mafia The Old Country. This is the fourth installment in the Mafia series, after Mafia 3. Mafia 2 is one of my favorite stories in video games of all time. I love that game way too much. It has good music and a really good vibe. It's a must try. I also own Mafia 1 and 3, but I've never played them fully. So the Mafia developers are known for putting a lot of research and historical accuracy into the Mafia series. They conducted extensive research into the early 1900s Sicilian life. The game offers you a Cinema Siciliano mode, which I love. It has a black and white filter to mimic mid-century Italian cinema. There are less UI pop-ups. The sound design is made to reflect vintage film, and the entire game is done in an authentic Sicilian dialogue.
Signero tutti. Scusa che ti feci aspettare. Era l'unica maniera per passare un po' di tempo con il mio autista privato.
Sappi stare con te. Io ti aspetto. Sei bellissima.
I personally love cinematic modes in video games, and this has an amazing feel. I did, however, find it difficult to read the subtitles during gameplay and ended up switching the dialogue back to English. I should also note the black and white filter can make it a bit more difficult to see things, but it is negligible in terms of completing the game. I want to replay the game without the filters, because it would kind of feel like an entirely new game. So I really like the story. Some argue it has too many recurring common story tropes, but that doesn't bother me. You are Enzo, a child laborer working for Don Spadaro. Enzo and his best friend plan on leaving Sicily in hopes of a better future in America.
Write to me if you can. Better still, join me here. I'll buy you steak and eggs for breakfast. My fondest regards, Uncle Silvio.
L'America. Steak and eggs. Hey, once we're paid up, I'm on the first boat over.
But in a mining accident, Enzo's best friend is killed, leaving him to fight the mine boss in retaliation, which leads to his escape. Enzo finds himself on a rival family's land, with his captives still chasing him, and he is rescued by Don Terrizzi.
I'm gonna make you wish you died in that rubble, huh?
What are you doing here, Damiano?
Don Terrizzi wants to send a message saying the rival family is trespassing, breaking their truce, and he demands that they leave immediately. This leaves Enzo under his protection.
On my land? You want nothing. You tell your boss, the boy is under my protection. And if our truce is dishonored again, I will repay that offense tenfold. Now leave.
Your new family and adventures start here. So there's lots of characters to meet. You have a underboss, Luca, who is almost like a father to you. You meet the Don's nephew, Cesare, who is kind of a good guy defending the family honor, but he's also an ass and an idiot.
Ma che minchia fu, Cesare? Could be pure gold. He's got no use for it now.
And of course, you meet the Don's daughter, Isabella, who falls in love with Enzo. This romance leads to many intense story moments, as they do everything in secret. Isabella also dreams of leaving Sicily and leaving her controlling father in hopes of a better future.
It will only get better.
Better?
Well, it's a special day. Your father's given all the men the night off.
So nobody's watching the house. Somebody could sneak in during the night. Or sneak out.
Huh.
I love how this relationship and story plays out. It's very intense and emotional.
Who is it?
Minchia.
It's also really cool to see how early life worked back then and how the communities functioned. Don Teresi offers protection to the community, and there are parts of the story where you have to go around collecting payment or convince people to pay.
You're going to shoot me? Offer 100 lira.
The story is also laced with contraband and smuggling, especially from America. And obviously, at some point, you are initiated into the family with a secret ceremony. Super cool and hype. They put a lot of research into the Sicilian knife fighting as well, which turned out to be pretty cool. Knife fights are treated as boss battles, basically, and I'm not into like fighting games that much, but the fighting moments still hit quite hard, and they had some really good emotional scenes, but for me, it did feel a bit repetitive after a while. Combat and gunfights is good, and can make you feel badass, but it also suffers from the common, buggy AI or glitches. There are also sneaking missions with more of an emphasis on stealth kills, but you can approach most scenarios with either stealth or guns ablazing. The game also has a good selection of knives and guns to choose from. There are also lots of outfits, and you also have charms you can add to your rosary to add perks. The map is pretty dope. There's a giant volcano that plays a role later in the story. I won't spoil it. They have horse riding and old cars. Super cool to see the car selection. Driving is a lot of fun, and they even have a realistic setting for cars, which is pretty intense. The story involves horse racing and car racing, which were both pretty fun. The main game isn't open world necessarily, but they do offer a free ride mode separately. Free ride feels a little lackluster with the amount of things you can do. In the main story, you can drive during the missions, but there are no route choices. The game tells you where to go. There is dialogue during driving, but most of it is skippable. They even have a skip button for skipping the driving entirely. So I wasn't too sure what they were trying to do here, but I will say later driving scenes do feel more impactful. And after researching the game development a little bit, I learned that they were trying to go back to the roots of what fans loved about the Mafia franchise, which meant returning to a more deep, linear narrative that is more common with the original Mafia game. So in conclusion, there are some really, really good story moments with a lot of emotion. Don Teresi was well designed. He is badass with a good voice.
What you did for her, for our family, took courage. Luca tells me this is not the first time you've shown instinct in the face of danger. Bravery is not common in this world, and so loyalty, honor, obedience. They set the man apart from the rest.
There are some common bugs, and there are moments where the story feels to slow down, especially at the start, but it's not too bad. At the end, there are really strong story moments. Everything wraps up. I love it. It was so good. The ending was amazing. I don't want to spoil it. Some may disagree, but I personally think it was what was best for the story. The game wasn't as strong as Mafia 2, but it's still amazing, especially if you like the period the game is set in. Thanks for watching, everyone. I talk about more games on my channel. There'll be links in the description. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.
I will never leave you again, Isabella. I won't die for another man's pride. And I promise that our child will have everything we never had.
I can't stay, Enzo. My father will never forgive me.
Then we leave. Together. To America. When the time is right.
Then you choose to be the man I love.
And choose us. Our family.
I also noticed there's DLC coming out in August. Sounds dope, I might check that out.